Welcome, foolish mortals, to another episode of the HitchHiking Host Show. I am your host, your ghost host, Wes Troop, and I'm back with another week. We got a whole lot of trending topics to talk about. Lots from Disney's Hollywood Studios, Disneyland, and Epcot and the Magic Kingdom. So we're gonna go all around the world, baby. All around the Disney World and the Disneyland. So, let's get started, shall we? Okay, well, a lot of Star Wars news was released this week about Star Wars Land. And a little more, too, other than just Star Wars Land. So, if you're a Star Wars fan, this is a great time, believe me. I'm a huge fan, so I am very excited about all this. If you're not, too bad. Sucks to be you. Well, Star Wars Land updates. First off, there was the special on this past Sunday on ABC. Mr. Harrison Ford came out to introduce the video package. And we got a few new things that we didn't exactly know, a few new tidbits, if you will. We all know that the Millennium Falcon attraction is coming, but for the first time in forever, we found out it will allow guests to pilot, turn, bank, and even fire on the ship themselves. So you basically are going to control the Falcon. Now, we don't exactly know how it's going to work. But I'm assuming it's going to be most likely something similar to Mission Space. It could be exactly like that, in fact, where one person does one thing, one person does another. You know what I mean? Just like the commander, the engineer, blah, blah, blah. You might get the turrets, you might get the pilot. No one really knows. But I'm sure we're going to find out soon. I just hope it's better than Mission Space, because I don't care for Mission Space that much. It's on my probably like top 5 worst of Disney rides. So I hope it's a lot better than that. If it's anything like that. And I hope it's not as confined. But we also found out the First Order ride will be a dark ride of sorts. By the way it showed it in the video, it looks most likely, I know, like a big screen ride. It will be a dark ride, though. I think it looks most likely like The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man at Islands of Adventure, which is one of the screen rides I actually like. But, you know, I'll enjoy it if it's Star Wars, but I'm not thrilled with the whole big screen thing with everything, but what can you do, right? Rumor has it, it could be trackless. So it could be going around just randomly, not randomly, crashing through stuff, like bumper cars or something. But, you know, it'll go on like a track, an invisible track, if you will, basically. And interactive. Which would be very interesting if it's interactive, because the stormtroopers are shooting at you, and rumor has it you may be able to shoot at them. So pretty cool. And then of course there are 2 restaurants we found out, not just the Cantina, which is awesome in itself. I will definitely be checking out the Cantina. I'll definitely be getting something there when I go there. My God, that's going to be cool. But there will also be a dinner club-style restaurant. It kind of looked like Jabba's palace from the pictures, which would be pretty awesome. But I'm not exactly sure what all that's going to entail. I can't imagine what the food's going to be like. Hopefully good. I would definitely be into checking out both of those restaurants. Definitely the Cantina and probably the Dinner Club, as long as it's not like $60 a plate. And there will also be an open marketplace where they're going to be selling lots of different stuff. And most likely it'll look like the Star Wars movies. Sort of like Tatooine Marketplace, I guess. We'll find out. But I am very pumped for this. I cannot wait for Star Wars Land to open, and that is going to be both at Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disneyland. In more Star Wars news for Disney's Hollywood Studios, beginning April 4th, the center stage area in front of the Great Movie Ride will play host to a new live show entitled Star Wars, A Galaxy Far, Far Away. The new show will play out iconic moments from the Star Wars series, not just from Episode 7, but also from the previous films. Confirmed characters to appear in the show include Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, Darth Maul, and Chewbacca. In addition to this new show, April 4th, we'll also see the debut of a fun new daily experience where guests can watch a platoon of stormtroopers led by Captain Phasma march across the park several times a day. The biggest new Star Wars attraction, though, will be a new nightly spectacular coming this summer. Star Wars, a Galactic Spectacular, literally that's what it's called, will be the most technical nighttime spectacular ever to be performed at Walt Disney World. And it will combine fireworks, pyro, special effects, and high-def video projections to create a truly immersive Star Wars experience. So like I said, I'm huge into Star Wars. They figure that's going to bring the fans in. Now they sort of let it go for Frozen, should we say? Yeah, we're going to say that. We're going to do that pun. And now it's all about the Star Wars, baby. And I'm fine with that. If you're not a huge Star Wars fan, maybe don't go to Hollywood Studios. But, I mean, you don't have to go on the stuff. You don't have to sit there and see it. You can just not be into that stuff, you know? You don't have to. There's no one putting a lightsaber to your head to force you to check this stuff out, so whatever. But definitely some very cool stuff coming for the Star Wars fans. It was confirmed this past week that at Disney's Hollywood Studios, Toy Story Midway Mania will be closed for a one-day refurbishment on March 15th, 2016. So in other words, don't go to Hollywood Studios on that day. During this brief refurbishment, work will be done on the third track expansion, which is still scheduled to open this summer, 2016. Nice. Anything to make that ride go faster. Because the waits are redonkulous. But I first saw it said, like, they made these articles. This was everywhere this past week on the internet. Because I subscribe to lots of Disney Facebook stuff. I don't want to flood your feeds with the HitchHiking host stuff. So I just wait for the show. I don't need to update every 5 seconds. Oh my god, Mickey Mouse just showed up in Disneyland. Oh my god, Elsa's here. It's like, oh yeah, that happens every 5 minutes, you idiots. So, we do it for the show. We do the newsworthy stuff. I don't flood your feeds, it's all good. But anyway, they were very misleading to get you to click into their article, Toy Story Mania closing at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I'm like, that's highly impossible. That the ride with the longest line will be closing. And then, of course, you click in for one day. Oh, well, F you. You just got me to click in. But anyway, it's only one day. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Don't get your Woody underwear in a bunch. So, just, you know, chillax. But, definitely anything to make Toy Story Midway Mania a better experience is good in my book. And also, over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, we got 2 more stories from there. It was revealed that several new character meet-and-greet experiences are coming in the near future. In just a few weeks, a new celebrity spotlight, quote-unquote, meet-and-greet will open in the Echo Lake section of the park. That will feature a rotating cast of characters, starting with the O-Man, Olaf, of course. Also, this spring, Mickey and Minnie will be moving into a new permanent meet and greet area in the former American Idol audition rooms. So more characters coming, new meet and greets coming to Hollywood Studios, which, you know, is the least they can do if they're closing everything and only leaving, you know, 5 rides open. So that's good. And also, it's been over a year since the studio backlot tour closed at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but it's now been confirmed that demolition on the Catastrophe Canyon portion has finally begun in anticipation of the future groundbreaking for Toy Story Land. Well, it took them a long time to get there, but evidently, what have they been doing for a year? Why did they have to close it? If the friggin' canyon portion was still open. But, who knows. You know, we've talked about this before on the show, about the backlot tour, and it was a sad shell of what it used to be. I remember the original version, and it was cool. It was longer. This version was like, you know, it was crap. It was boring. It was a waste of time. So I have no problem with them closing the backlot tour. You know, so the Catastrophe Canyon portion's gone. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything. I'm gonna miss the old lady in the... Oh, yeah, but at least I have the video of YouTube. We went through the canyon and we got all wet. But it felt good. It was nice. One of my favorite clips ever. But, yeah, so R.I.P. Catastrophe Canyon. Now we're going to jump parks and we're going to head over to Epcot, where it was announced last week that the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival will officially open on September 14th. Mark your calendars, people. And will run every day through November 14th. That is 2 months. This year's 62-day edition of the festival is the longest ever. So all you alcoholics out there can celebrate, beating last year by over a week. So we got 2 months of the Food and Wine Festival this year. So definitely, if you are big into that, that's good news. If you try to avoid the crowds around that time of year, that's kind of bad news in Epcot. Because once nighttime hits in Epcot, when the Food and Wine Festival's there, it's a crowded place. But, so just know, it's going to be longer than ever. And finally, over at the Magic Kingdom, after a decade of performances, Dream Along with Mickey is finally being retired in a few weeks and will be replaced by Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair. Weird name, I don't know if I like that. Anyway, the new show will feature characters from Frozen, The Princess and the Frog, and of course, for all of you people out there screaming about it, Tangled, because everybody loves Tangled 5 years later. And it will also debut sometime this summer. When will it debut? In summer. So I'm glad to see there is a new castle show. Every time I went by, it was Dream Along with Mickey, and it was kind of annoying for over 10 years. You know, it's like, oh god, this show again. I'm a fan of rotating stuff when it comes to shows, because, you know, you can only watch, especially standing outside of the castle, you can only watch it so long, or at least adding something. You know, it's not, Dream Along with Mickey was not phantasmic by any means, so I think you can definitely trade it out with a different show. So definitely look out for that. Alright, well, that's the show for this week. I'll be back next week, and if you didn't see it yet, the newest Hitchhiking Host Show 101 is up. It's all about the Storybook Land Canals, so definitely check it on out. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube, youtube.com/HitchHostShow. You can like the show on Facebook, facebook.com/HitchHostShow. Follow on the Twitter and the Instagram at HitchHostShow. And if you want to listen to the show, or you are listening to the show and want to keep doing so, it's at Podbean, hitchhostshow.podbean.com, or you can download it on iTunes or Stitcher. Just search for the Hitchhiking Host Show or West Truth. Until next time, don't forget to
hurry back
for the next episode. See ya.